We have made it to the National Mustard Museum. I am so excited. This was started by a man who was actually serving as a district attorney. He argued a case before the Supreme Court with a jar of mustard in his pocket. It is a wild story that brought us here today, but I'm very excited because this is going to be one of the largest collections of condiment mustards, but also all the serving devices for all those mustards in the entire nation. It's going to be really interesting, so let's go inside. Looks like they are open from 10 till 5 daily, and they have shopping online 24/7, so you can buy all sorts of interesting, unique mustards. So I can only imagine inside we're going to find something really fun. Ellie made it in before me and instantly found mustard, not mustard, flavored lip balm. They have shot glasses. Of course, we're going to end up with one of these patches, but we're going to go look at the museum first. In the back, they have a mustard tasting area, so we're going to taste some mustards. I don't know what this is going to be like today. We're not sure, but mustard sure sounds fun. So we're going to go downstairs first to the free museum, and then we'll come back upstairs. We'll look around this. We'll see if there's any merch that we need to buy, and we will definitely taste some mustards to figure out if there's any we need to use for wraps or something like that later on. Are you guys ready to go and muster up the courage to go downstairs? Okay, yeah, I know. The thing about it is they have stairs here, or you can take the elevator down, so you can get down either way, but oh my gosh, yeah. Apparently it all began because of a baseball game, and in fact when the Boston Red Sox lost the 1986 World Series to the New York Mets, millions of Boston baseball fans were devastated by the beloved team's failure to win the World Championship. Here we can find a little bit of a display of what the stadium would have looked like during that time, and then also a little bit more information about this. In fact, one of these fans took it especially hard. His name was Barry Levinson, and he grew up in Massachusetts, where he learned the meaning of suffering and woe as he continued to root for the Red Sox. He became the Attorney General of the state of Wisconsin, but it all started with this baseball game. That's where the story begins, and from there, some interesting things happen. You can see this little puppet of Barry over here and a little article about him, in fact. But it goes on to say that when the Boston made it to the World Series in 1986, victory seemed assured, and the Sox were 2 runs ahead and 1 pitch away from wrapping up the series in Game 6, and then a disaster struck, and the Mets rallied to win Game 6, and then they won the 7th, and in a deciding game on October 27th, 1986, once again, the Red Sox had snatched the defeat from the jaws of victory, and Levinson was depressed and beyond words. That's when he went to an overnight grocery store because he needed to detox his mind from what he had seen. And he happened upon the mustard aisle, and it had all these interesting mustards, and he found a newfound something to invest his time and energy into, and he wanted to try them all out, and he found interesting bottles, and he became obsessed with mustard. Since then, his collection has grown to over 6,300 items of mustard. Mustard from all over the country, mustard from other countries, unique jars, serving containers, a little bit of everything. And there's a lot to this one. It's a very small museum down here, but a big story and a big obsession as we continue onward into Barry's journey through mustard. Again, I mentioned outside that he ended up loving mustard so much that he had found an interesting jar, shoved it down into his pocket, and then argued the case before the Supreme Court, and guess what? He won. So he felt like the mustard brought him luck. And so that is when he kind of started to pivot his life's journey into collecting all these different kinds. And now we have this museum thanks to Barry and his awkward obsession. Inside the building, you can find a mustard ring toss where you can have $2 for rings, and if you get a ringer, guess what? You win a jar of mustard. They also have mustard art kind of around here, and it shows some of the fun things that they have. Mama always said mustard is as mustard does. This right here is actually kind of funny. The first 27 virtues of mustard, and Mr. Levinson studied under a Professor Albert Culpepper at the New Museum of Crappy Art in Virginia, and he is unable to draw anything, including a straight line, so he had to create something, and he decided that he was going to have his mustard displayed in this particular manner, using his favorite thing, of course, jars of mustard. It's different kinds of virtues that would be something that would be positive for every person, such as resourcefulness or observation, being observant, being tolerant and kind and generous and honest and fluffy sometimes even. Catching up with Collie over here, and she is reading about the what is mustard. We get to learn how mustard is grown, how it is manufactured, what it happens whenever it comes to us, and along the way there's some interesting graphics here that show you them actually growing and cutting the mustard, and then how that they would harvest this and then turn it into what we see on the shelves today. Of course, you can't have a mustard museum without various advertisements about mustard, and so throughout time, historically, they have collected this series of advertisements that would allow you to see how the advertising of mustard has changed over the years. Some of these are pretty interesting. You can find different years. This one is from 1925. As we keep moving around, you go into some of these different styles of art that they would use historically throughout time. We get into even some of these kinds of things. Sherry and the Magical Showgirl. I didn't know you liked mustard on your ice cream. These are fun. This is a great way for us to learn a little bit about the history of mustard and its lifespan. But also, there's a letter here from the German American Mustard Company from 1915 that you can read a little bit more about that. And this is a telegram also from November 4th, 1915. So this is quite a collection. This is definitely a passion project. It is something very niche, but also very fun. Here's Jenny McCarthy, of course. This was from Rolling Stone. It looks like this issue is from 1996, and then also you have another one from 1996. Those are July and October. It goes on, and this is just the beginning. We haven't even seen the collection yet of the actual mustards, because let me just say, when we get there, it's impressive. So Collie's gonna take a picture for me, and I'm gonna show you what I look like as a giant mustard. So let's morph into mustard. Do I look like I mustered up the courage to do mustard? Now we are here for the big collection. We are excited to see this man's work, this very unique space, something that brought us all the way to this part of Wisconsin, the mustard collection. It is all in these cases, kind of surrounding the room, behind glass. There are so many unique ones, and wow, that's all I have to say. They're also marked by location as to where they came from, so it's very organized and very methodical. Very neat. As you can hear, there's a lot of people here. It is a very popular place. We're gonna keep on browsing the mustards in a moment, but there's some other things here as well. There are different condiment holders, and these are things that traditionally mustard would be served in. And I have already found one that is so fun across the way. We're gonna get to that one in just a minute, but I'm gonna show you these cases as well, because it is so fascinating to see not only the mustard on the shelves and being able to read through them and see if I've ever tasted them, but also to be able to find some of these unique containers. One in particular is called the King's Mustard, and this is a rare mustard pot that celebrates the visit to Canada in 1939 of the King of England, King George VI. They have these others that are beautiful. You can see the different kinds of art that are on the different collections here. You can find the different kinds of containers. Well, these are from abroad. You can find these over from Great Britain. Shelf is partially French, and then the shelf above it is as well. And you can see the detail in each one of these. It changes from different kinds of areas that it might have been featured in. Some are nicer, some are more common. Some of these are for things that they might have had for every day. Some of these might have been for more special occasions. Here are German, and as we move around, there's some pretty neat ones here. I really like this one because this has a salt and pepper shaker and then also a condiment guy in the middle who could have been like a mustard container. Now this display is one that has all of the specialty items, and so you see some of these really cool frogs, and there's a little Dutch woman, there's this pickle, but then we come up here, we have a pig, there's a bear, there's another pig, there's a dog, there's this funny little cat in the front that has a mouse in his mouth there. That's really fun. But this one was interesting because it's really, really different. But then we also got over here to the praying hands of mustard, but it's next to a burger. Top shelf. The top shelf is what from all the way over there. I came over because I had to show you. This would be the one that I would definitely want. This has a little piggy bank on it that is hot dog themed. So it's not a mustard container, but it is hot dog themed. There's actually a couple of these, but you'll see. Is this not the cutest mustard themed item of all? He's in a hot dog, he's sitting on the mustard, he's a little bank, it's Snoopy. But they also have Mickey here, and then over on this side, I love this one, mustard. Look at him go. There's quite a few people who are here, so it's a little bit louder in this particular room. It echoes a little bit more, but as you're looking around, there's some really neat ones. And Collie told me she found Kansas. And Kansas has a familiar name there. You might know, I got to go to Alma, where I get the cheese curds in Kansas. Well, they make their own mustard too, and she found some from there. Ooh, Hill Country, I have had this one at a restaurant before. It was really delightful. I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I recognize. There's a few of these that look kind of familiar. I found Kansas and I'm looking through these to see where they are made. This one's from Briarwood. This one, ooh, that one looks actually pretty good. This is interesting. This is such a unique collection for sure. There it is right there. That one is from Alma. The collection is not just from here in the United States, it's also from abroad. So he has some glass containers. They're working on some lighting right now, so we're gonna give them a moment, but they have an entire case of international mustards also. Additionally, we have some really fascinating things on these cabinets. So let's take a little tour around, because guess what? They have the 2025 Worldwide Mustard Competition, and you can find who won each of the categories and then find them on these tables. For example, in the honey mustard category, we have a silver, gold, and bronze, and it looks as though this one right here, this Plockman's Sweet Harvest Honey, was the gold medal winner. In the Dijon mustards, we have 3 contenders, and right here, guess what? We have this one, which is the Pommery, and that one was the main winner for the gold on this one. It goes on and on and on, and there are so many great ones. And some of these are ones you're familiar with because you've seen them at the stores. Some of them are more specialty. Some of them are regional, and some of them, it's really hard to find. So this is fascinating. Let's see, let's go over here. And what about this one? This one over here. This is the horseradishes, and we have 3 here, and our winner chicken dinner is this one right here, which I have never actually tried. Let's pick from this table this one again. I like this corner. Let's do spirit mustards. So these are going to contain some form of beer or bourbon or something, and we have this one as the bronze, which is made of whiskey. We have this one up here, which is the bourbon, that was the gold, and Plockman's has 2 on this one. It's this one and also the craft beer. I think I'm saying that name right. This is a fun category, mustard-based barbecues. And in fact, guess what? You guessed it. This one right here reigns supreme again. Now, additionally, they have some cases like these where you can find, again, some different kinds of mustard that aren't all from the States. They're from all over, in fact. They even have some fun mustard art, which I think is really great. These are so fun, and I think that whenever you're diving into anything, like, you dive fully in, and you just love it. And that's what we're doing here at this particular location. But additionally, each and every one of the items has been photographed, and they have it on the screen. So it kind of plays as a slideshow, so you can see the details up a little bit closer as opposed to just looking at them in the cases. They do have a little bit of everything in here, and these are like salad mustards, which are a throwback to an older time when yellow mustard was called salad or salad style, and this was used as a nod to the French cream salads. There's even some information here that says the bright yellow color of yellow mustard comes from dried and powdered turmeric. I have tried a lot of different kinds of mustard, but nowhere near half of these mustards have I ever even seen, let alone thought of trying. So there's different combos here that just are very surprising. I'm very interested though, because there's also a mustard piece theater where you can go in and watch a program. So we're gonna have to do that too. But before we do, they have some Canadian mustard facts here. And Canada is the world's largest exporter of mustard seeds. And so that's pretty interesting to find out. And you can find out about how Saskatchewan is the mustard capital of the entire world. It gives you a few fast facts, and you can find more of them by turning this knob. So let's find one good fast fact. Here we go. Mustard's remarkable nutritional profile promotes good health and helps prevent disease. Watched a little bit of the Mustard Piece Theater. It gives you a few different documentaries in there about mustard and how it's used in a variety of different ways. The part that I was watching was actually showing how the Germans have revolutionized the way that they use mustard with brats and different kinds of sausages, and it was pretty interesting, but it continues going, and there's other films that also play. So this was a really unique touch. Again, super popular place, but let's go upstairs. Let's try some mustard. I am really intrigued after seeing all of these. We came down the stairs, we're going up the elevator just in case there's a hidden mustard, because in the bathroom they had a squeezy thing of mustard for the soap. Okay, it's just yellow, but okay, it's just yellow. That was sad. You know what though, not everything can be a surprise. And the Mustard Museum has definitely been a surprise. I wasn't expecting most of the things down there. Now I will say this, while we're here, we were kind of also surprised by how many people were coming through to see the Mustard Museum. It's quite popular. There's a bunch of dudes in there right now, and they are just having a full-on like moment about the mustard, and it's kind of funny. So they're having a blast. But we are upstairs now, and now it's time for us to explore all of the over 200 kinds of mustard that you can buy here, as well as the other things, and we're gonna taste a few. Oh, here we go. Campus Poop on You. This is the bookstore. They have t-shirts here with all sorts of different mustard themes. Downstairs we were able to find the worldwide mustard competition winners, but here you can actually purchase some of those. Of course, when we first came in, we saw that they have the different boxes, but they have several different ones that you can put together. And you can see they have like the award-winning boxes. They have the flamin' ones. Those are pretty neat. They're a little bit more spicy. Around the store also, you'll find these little signs that tell you different staff members and which ones that they like the best. This one sounds delicious. This one is a ginger curry mustard, and it tells you what to pair it with, and then also that this one won in 2011, and it's something that he actually uses instead of curry paste whenever he's making curry. That's pretty neat. This one right here, it mentions that this particular staff member said that it is sweet and savory in this particular mustard. She likes it as a meat glaze, also with pretzels and cheese plates. And then this one right here, which I saw downstairs, really neat container, but also this one has had the same recipe since 1760, and it's good with brat, steak, or baked potatoes. It's divided up, and you can see a placard on the top of it so you can find what you're looking for. So these are all exotic mustards, for example, and some of the ones that we found downstairs are on this exact shelf. And we're looking around, and there's so many different kinds here that it's kind of impossible, but that's why you get the tasting. I'm interested in trying a fruit mustard. I've never had a fruit mustard before, and this might be a way for me to try that. But also, like, you can see Collie's back here. She's in the other foreign section. We've already gone through several other unique ones. We even got to like a hot sauce area, and they have some of the things from Hot Ones on here. Ooh, no. Ooh, mango curry mustard.
This is like people asking what
That's good. This is spicy red jalapeno.
I kind of like the banana pepper a little bit. I do like the sweetness, but all three are awesome.
Also good. Okay, this one is going to be a heat, sweet and heat together, kind of.
Real good.
Ooh, it's very different.
Mustard flavor because it has the whole mustard seed in it. Anybody else?
This is a mango curry. We're going to try this one.
This is the mango curry.
Very different. This one is a cranberry. That one right there on the counter, the cranberry Chardonnay. We're gonna try this. This one looks.
Absolutely. So the champagne garlic is made by Terrapin Ridge. They make a whole bunch of really sweet and sticky.
Now this is one she mentioned would be best with like chicken tenders. So I'm interested in this one for sure because I do chicken tenders all the time. It's a lot more potent.
That one was real good.
This one has bacon.
Oh, try it. Yeah, try it. Okay, did you read what it is?
It's like candy. That one's like candy. I'm in trouble if I do that
Bunny,
one. Okay, this one looks a little bit different. It's jalapeno and dill.
So let's give it a try. Try one of the dill pickle ones.
Definitely processed. Oh.
Did you say?
Yeah.
The one that I tried.
Oh, of course, dill pickle.
Here is the dill pickle.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give them both.
Yes, and yes. Okay, Collie picked up two, and she found this one, which is a horseradish mustard. She said this one made her nose tingle in a good way. And then she ended up with the dill pickle mustard, which I am also getting one of these. Despite it being glass, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna make sure it's safe. It's gonna have a good place in my fridge because it was so good. Oh my gosh, this was awesome. It was a small but mighty museum, but the tasting was phenomenal. I have now found 4 different things that I've taken pictures of so I can order them online because glass. We're only risking it for the biscuit with one. I'm kind of nervous, but at the same time, this was a wonderful, phenomenal, amazing place to go. And if you're ever in Madison, Wisconsin, you should definitely check out the National Mustard Museum. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, I think I'm gonna make a wrap because sounds like a good way to use my dill pickle mustard. Oh, so excited. Till next time. Bye.